Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the first ever Zocratic MMA podcast. I shouldn't say welcome back. Welcome to the first podcast. I'm Ajay. I'm one of the creators of Zocratic MMA, and I'm here with another creator, Shark. And we are the people who made the wonderful app, Zocratic MMA, which is an all-inclusive data analytical platform where you could use it to look at fights or even certain fighter stats of any event that you would like. It's a great platform.
Yes.
You should go on and check it out. And guess what? We actually just released it on iOS. So if you have an iPhone, hey, go to App Store and search up Socratic MMA. So let's first start off with fight predictions. Not fight predictions, sorry, fight reviews. Following last week, we just finished with Hamzat versus Chimaev. A great card, mind you ask. Shark, what's
I
your thoughts
agree.
on the card?
I agree. It was a card that we kind of needed. Not that like the other cards were too bad, but there was nothing on this level in my opinion in terms of actual like getting hype for the fights prelim and main.
Yeah, this card made me remember why I was a UFC fan, man. The Paramount era has been horrible. Now
Yeah,
finally I have a card I actually can watch with my friends and be like, yeah, this is why I love them. This is why I love MMA.
I agree.
But anyways, let's get into the first fight I want to talk about. Shark, what's your thoughts on Yoel Alvarez versus how do you pronounce his last name? Um,
Yaroslav Amosov, I believe.
Yeah, Mosov. Yeah, what's your thoughts on this? We have two contenders coming up, and for some reason, a lot of time you see gets two contenders and tries building them up by fighting trash cans and trying to get your name big as possible, and then based off that, they might give them a higher opponent. But the UFC said, screw all that. Boom, two contenders, duke it out. We'll see who goes further in your career. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree. I think I mean a lot of people kind of push back on when like two people who are like rising to the top versus each other like a bit earlier because they say like, oh, they deserve a ranked opponent, they deserve like a bigger opportunity, which I understand, like that's completely fine too. But personally, I get really hyped when these type of matches happen where it's like a really hype contender versus another on the way up. I wouldn't mind seeing like any of these guys like join the ranking. Like Yaroslav was already ranked, but I wouldn't mind seeing both these guys get a higher ranked fight, but this was an amazing fight. I mean, the way it played out too, and the build up for it was very hype.
For sure, this is one of those fights that those who know about this fight are really excited for it. The casual fan may not even know that these fighters even exist. But hey, you'll be here if you're a real MMA fan with your popcorn ready to see these two duke it out. And what's your thoughts on the final result? Were you surprised? Who do you have winning?
I agree. Like it's one of those fights where it's gonna like if it went under the radar, definitely, especially for
Mhm.
like how good the fight was, and for how the fight actually went. I feel like not gonna lie, like I was not expecting this much of a like one-sided domination by Amosov. Like obviously Amosov is really good. He's a really good grappler, but he looked better on the feet in terms of being able to like manage himself. He wasn't completely lost on the field. Like and the one loss that he has against Jason Jackson, which was outside the UFC, when his takedowns got stuffed, he was just pretty much like lost. He really didn't know what he was doing, and he got knocked out that fight. But he looked very solid on the feet. He was landing nice strikes. He wasn't taking the biggest of risk, and his takedowns were like very. He made it look easy getting into the ground, and like we saw in the fight early in the second, he what do you call it, brought him to down to the ground, arm triangle, just choked out just like that.
100%. It was a great performance by him. And this just shows to UFC fans that fighters do improve. A lot of people think, oh, the fighter's only as good as their record. Like
I
look at
agree.
Charles Oliveira. A common criticism, oh, he has so many losses. It's like, yeah, but that was back in the day. Look at him now. And like this is another fighter. He lost what is it, 2 fights ago? Is it 2 fights ago? Yeah, so
Yeah, before like
he's
going
back
into the site,
and
yeah.
yeah, and he's improved and just, you can't say anything but be happy for the guy. I'm excited to see what happens next for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think for both these guys, they still have a very like for Joel Alvarez, he definitely has a very bright future going forward. Still, he definitely has to work on his first layer of defense, his takedown defense, because even in the Armin fight at lightweight, it showed like he had holes in his grappling. Like he got taken down, and Armin had I would say Armin had equally of a impressive performance against Joel Alvarez. For Joel Alvarez, he needs to focus on just getting that takedown, getting his grappling to another level, and his striking's already there. He has very elite striking. Like nobody will argue that his striking is beautiful, but he needs to get to the next level. And for Yaroslav, I think a matchup with Sean Brady would be very fun. Either Sean Brady or the winner of Bilal and what's his name, Bonfim. I think those would be very very fun matchups, and it would be more of a test towards his grappling side. Like Neil Magny was there, but Neil Magny is kind of on the tail end of his career,
Mm.
so I think that would be an amazing fight or fights to make.
Yeah, that could be a curious one. Sean Brady. But Sean Brady just won. So I would assume that they'll put him they'll give Sean Brady somebody above him, but I don't know what the UFC is thinking. But a fight against Sean Brady would be really cool, also
Yeah,
because like
that's
we
true.
want to bring up Sean Brady back on a win streak. He was such a killer. He went on such a great win streak after he lost to Bilal Muhammad against like
Yeah.
good top five opponents, and he lost to Mike Morales, and now he's trying to get back on the radar for many fans. Like, try to get into contention for another contender.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
So yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Let's move on to yeah. So KTR and Diaz. Now, a lot of people know KTR because he's a killer. People say he's the middleweight Ganu.
Yeah.
He's one shot killing power, but I don't know, man. I feel like he has a
Yeah.
lot of holes in his
Yeah.
game, and like you see this from a lot of people who are like really athletic, that they're so athletic they come so far in their career and they're not able to build up technical skills because they could just use their athletic abilities to push them forward.
Y-
What's your thoughts on his
Yeah.
athletic? What's
Uh,
your thoughts on his technical skill, Shark?
I agree. Like, he's definitely very green for like where he is right now. Like, it showed in his, I believe it was his last fight. Yeah, against Andre Pulayev. Andre Pulayev put up a good fight against him. He was doing a lot of damage, but he eventually lost that fight because of that physical aspect that Gautier has, where like one punch can literally just kill you. He got knocked down, so he won those rounds based off that damage. But he was getting outstruck that fight, and even in this fight, he's been compared to Ngannou, the middleweight Ngannou, but I don't think he is there to be honest, because like
Mm.
I don't think. I don't think Ngannou goes to the second round with Audi, like the heavyweight equivalent of Ozzy Diaz. I don't see that happening to be honest. And not that Ateba Gautier can't be that guy. He is still a really good prospect for middleweight, especially because he does have that athletic ability. He has a physique, but I think he definitely needs to kind of like step up the same way he's kind of been stepping up. Like it needs to be better than this, where it's not like he's not like a negative 1,000 fighter every single time. I think
Mm.
like it makes sense the UFC doesn't want to rush him to the top because he can be a crazy prospect, but I want to see more out of him. I want to see a bit more improvement, and you know, in some aspects in this fight, he did look a bit more patient. He looked a bit more controlled. But against someone like Ozzy Diaz, you don't need to do that. You know, like I feel like
Yeah.
Ozzy Diaz is someone you just blow through the first round. Like if we look at Ozzy Diaz, let's see his competition. So he beat Jordan Santos, which
Mm.
let's see who this is. Yeah, so he somehow beat Santos, which I'm not sure how he did that to be honest. But before like before that, let's see, he lost. Yeah, he got knocked out by Zhang Mei Yang and Joe Pyfer. Like it's kind of hard to say like that, or it's kind of hard to say that Gautier had an impressive opponent, like what's it called, fight. But
Mm.
I still believe in him. I'm still on the Gautier train, but I just need a bit more from him. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Also, it was very painful watching the first round of Diaz is holding on to Gautier and Gautier just not knowing how to break his hands and rip
Oh,
himself
you're right.
apart.
You're
Like he's
right.
so
I forgot about
athletic
that.
and so big. I
Yeah.
feel like he just do that so easily,
Yeah.
but he just wasn't doing it. Not like I've never been in an MMA fight. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing, but like it just seems so simple and obvious. And I think that goes back to the idea he's just so athletic that he
Yeah.
kind of didn't have to build up these technical skills. He's quite far into his MMA career too. at this point that like even these basic skills he should know. Maybe he should try getting coaching or experience in different camps or try and learn. Now he's getting bigger and higher up on the rankings. He is definitely on the radar for many fighters, and I'm sure that there are veterans in the sport that can help him out. I am definitely excited for the future of this guy. I mean, he's called him middleweight and
Yeah,
got him for a reason. I'm sure everyone loves a good knockout, and yeah, I can't wait for the future.
yeah. To go back to that
Let's
though,
move on to
what I'm not
yeah.
saying. So, Sir Kayev actually called him out like earlier on. The guy who like Hamza's boy, he called him out saying that like, oh, give me him next easy money. How do you think a fight like
Oh
that would
yeah.
go? Like, I don't know. I don't know who. I feel like Gautier would win that.
Okay,
Not gonna lie.
got you win that. It's hard. The thing about Hamza's boy, he's very cool, cool, calm, collected. He's always smiling, giggling.
Yeah,
I do think he's a pretty slick striker, though. I think he could move and dodge and evade punches and slip uh, corners and hey, throw some heavy hitting punches.
I agree.
Um,
But the issue for
he's
me,
also a very. One more thing I'll say though
yeah,
is he's also very. He's shown his wrestling ability in the past. He's shown that he's able to do many different things. So I think he could make a good game plan. I'll say that.
that is true. My issue is though, it's kind of like it's kind of like the power is the equalizer, where
Yeah.
Saoirse Kai likes to play a lot in his fights. He taunts, he eats a lot of punches to his guard, then kind of like taunts you, brings you forward. But someone like
Yeah.
Gautier, if he can wrap a punch around that guard or even split the guard, like first off, he's gonna lock in real quick after feeling the power from Gautier. I don't think he'll be taunting the
True.
same way that he was. And the
Yeah,
issue
you're
is
not
with that
wrong.
too is like you'll only have so many chances to do so before it either completely knocks you out cold or it puts you to a point where you're so hurt to where your game's not at where it could be. So
You're
that
not
would be
wrong.
that would be my
Yeah.
main issue with Sursive Kai. Like I wouldn't say he's completely out the fight, but I would lean Gautier.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for him, he's kind of a guy like I mean, look at Ganu. Let's look at Ganu, for example. He beat everyone in heavyweight up until he got to Stipe in their first title fight. And
Yeah,
Stipe had a very smart game plan of grappling with him up until Ganu got very gassed. And then it was basically an easy decision for Stipe.
yeah,
So I would say if you want to be God here, so from what we know, he should be a good wrestler. And Hamza's boys, yeah, he's been a good wrestler up until this point. Not good. Yeah, like he's been able to take down his opponents. It's not like very technical, but like he still is able to take them
yeah.
down.
He showed he showed that he's
That'd be a
in that
very interesting
realm. Yeah,
fight.
yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
All right, should we move on to the first fight of the main card? King
Yeah.
Green versus Jeremy Stevenson. I don't know why the UFC really made this fight. When was the last time Jerry Stevenson even fought before like Danny Green? Or sorry, King Green,
Uh,
my bad.
yeah. King Green. I have no idea to be honest. I think he fought. Let's see. Oh, Mason Green. This was a banger fight. Not gonna lie. The fight against Mason Green. This was an amazing fight. Oh, that was
Yeah,
a
I
long
remember
time.
that
Oh,
one.
that was almost a year ago. What the hell?
Yeah.
Almost a year ago? That was pretty
Yeah.
crazy. That was his last UFC fight. And he looked,
I mean, I feel the UFC just made this fight just as like a two people that like UFC
the,
fans should know. Jerry Stevenson got famous off that one corner clip,
yeah.
and King Green has been doing this for such a long time. And yeah, they just wanted something to open up the main card. But what's your thoughts on the fight, man?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty quick fight. Bobby Green, or sorry, King Green made it easy. Like, a couple strikes, got him to the ground, and then just choked them out. Like, he made it very easy. Jeremy Stephan,
100%.
like, I don't know, to be honest. Like, this was a very, like, just odd fight. It was just a name value fight, to be honest. And it's King
Yeah,
Green, he's been on an impressive streak so far. Like, not gonna lie, like, I thought his career was, like, it was just about to go downhill, but he got finished
yeah,
twice, and he beat Lance Gibson, who knocked out Chase Hooper, so that was a pretty good win. At least, like, in hindsight now. Daniel Zellhuber, this was a crazy win too. Like nobody
yeah, it
expected this.
was.
This was crazy, especially knocking him out. That was insane. And now, like, this was, I guess, pretty expected, but still, like, being on a three
Mm.
fight win streak in 2026 is pretty crazy. Like, nobody expected that. So, like,
Very, you're not wrong, 100%. It was quite impressive the way Danny Green commanded the entire fight. He was very confident. I keep thinking Danny Green, it's Bobby Green and King Green, but
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
it's
saying.
very impressive how Bobby Green was commanding the fight. Really used all the elements of martial arts in it, and yeah, just showed why there's level to this game, and that
Yeah.
Jerry Stevenson should probably retire.
Yeah, either
It's done,
retire
buddy.
or go back to BKFC because he's definitely making good
Only
money
three
there.
losses, man.
He's like the only person I've seen who's been able to like go back and forth, like fight in the UFC and then fight outside the UFC. Like he's like
Yeah.
obviously the UFC is very against that, but like he's been going in and out. Like he's fought in the PFL, like he's went to go fight in the PFL for a bit, went to go fight BKFC. Like he took those fight in the UFC, just they're like, yeah, just come back.
Let's quit it, man. Let's put down our gloves. You've had
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. I mean, he's had a fun
All
career.
right.
Like it's just like, what can you do now? You're
Yeah.
just old,
Yeah.
father
I
time.
mean, anyways, going on to the next fight. This is also another.
This was
Oh
a
yeah,
high fight.
sorry.
This was a
This is
very high
yeah,
fight.
Sean Brady versus
Oh my
Joaquin
god, look
Buckley,
at
man.
stats.
This was a weird fight. I remember I was monitoring the fight very closely, and then for some reason the line changed.
Yeah,
Sean
yeah,
Brady was actually the overdog, and then within an hour, Joaquin Buckley became the overdog. And
yeah.
it was quite a big gap. It must have been like hundreds of thousands of dollars put into the betting markets for that line to change that much, maybe even
100%.
more. I'm not even too sure how much it would cost. Sean Brady had a very dominant grappling performance against Joaquin Buckley.
Very
And if you
dominant.
remember correctly, Joaquin Buckley's last fight was against Usman, where he got dominated in grappling.
Yeah.
So it was something that could have been very predictable. Do you think it could have been predictable, or do you think there was a chance that
It's
Joaquin Buckley could have came up and won the fight?
it's kind of hard to say in hindsight now, but like
Mm,
you would give Buckley slack because he's versing one of the greatest MMA grapplers of all time. So like although Usman is
mm,
on his tail end of his career too, like the skills are still there. Like he's still an amazing wrestler. So like I feel like a lot of people are just giving him that where it's like, okay, Brady's not as good of a grappler, especially not he's definitely not as good as a wrestler. So he's gonna have a harder time to actually get it down. Like if we look at the career
yeah.
snapshot. So
I mean, just to add one thing, just talk about
yeah,
Brady. Like, yeah, you're right. His wrestling isn't that good. No, sorry, his wrestling is good, but it isn't like top tier like Usman, where he could
yeah,
like take you down like pretty easily. But once he gets you down, you can't get up. That's
exactly.
the hard part.
Exactly,
That's the
yeah.
part nobody's figured out how to stop at. Like his two losses are Mike Morales and Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah.
He didn't take down Mike Morales once. Did he take down Bilal Muhammad? I don't think so.
I don't think he did, from what I
Yeah,
remember.
he didn't take
It was
down
a pretty
Bilal
striking
Muhammad. Like
fight.
those
Yeah.
are two people who were able to negate his wrestling because his wrestling isn't like top tier like Hamza Chimaev, which
Yeah.
we'll get to by the way. But yeah, a little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, so like for example, like as of right now, it's his takedown defense fell to 70% Buckley, but
Mhm.
go like Buckley was known to have pretty brick wall takedown defense. I mean, it was exposing his Usman, of course, but it was pretty hard to
Yeah.
take on something like Buckley. He was a pretty big, bulky guy, and from what we saw before the Usman fight, he did a good job, and I think he kind of fell down to being a victim of being overrated when you beat Colby Covington. Colby Covington is probably one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
most mid wins you can get, in my opinion. Like it's not as good as people think, especially on the wrestling end. Like this, it's the same thing happened with Leon before the Bilal fight. People thought that Leon was now like a crazy grappler because he beat Colby Covington, and like I feel like it was kind of the same thing with this fight. And one thing
Yeah.
I applaud Sean Brady for actually taking advantage of his full mount in this fight. He didn't just stay kind of
Mhm.
like just like holding him closely, just holding the position. He actually, in my opinion, it should have been more damage. But from what we saw in like the grapplers later in the main and co-main, like this is incomparable. Like he actually wanted to make some damage happen. He actually made some damage out of his position. He made his work actually worth it. And yeah, I applaud him. I think he could have got the finish though. Like he started a bit late with the elbows. I say he cut Buckley open with the elbow too. I think if he,
Yeah.
it's pretty underutilized in MMA too, and I kind of assume it's not as baked into their training where like you can hit the 9 to 5 elbows now because they're legal now. So like there's no reason not to.
Oh, no. In New Jersey, they aren't legal.
Really?
Yeah. So in New Jersey, it's based on commission. In
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Jersey, it isn't legal, and also you can't knee a opponent if they have one knee down. So
yeah.
that was something that came up during the Tassataro fight because Van did
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
They
I remember
ref
that,
didn't
but
see it.
I didn't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that 12 to 9 is still not legal. Then, but
Oh wait, are you saying 12 to 9 or 12 to 6?
like, or 12 to 6. Sorry, like just straight down. Sorry.
12 to 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
12
12
to
to
6
6.
is not legal. 12 to 9. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. I still say he, like even without the 12 to 9, he should have been a bit more active with the elbows and just putting more power into his shots because he was raining down a lot of
Sure.
punches. Like we can even see in the numbers, like
Yeah.
we got 245 strikes landed, and those strikes,
Yeah.
they're like all of them are on the ground, and he was just if it like I understand what he was thinking, like he could keep that position while damaging, and it definitely adds up. Like Buckley is throwing those punches, but I would like to see him go a bit harder, get that finish because Sean Brady is that type of guy. I'm
Yeah.
also pretty disappointed that he didn't really attempt as many subs or even look for the sub. He went. I feel like
Yeah.
Brady is at the level, especially compared to someone like Buckley as of right now. He's at that level where he can just hunt for that sub and take that sub, and that kind of ties into him striking a bit harder. If he strikes a bit harder, he makes Buckley panic a bit more. Maybe Buckley shows a bit more urgency on getting up. He gives up his back. Sean Brady hits a nasty body triangle and this finds the choke. But yeah, that's what I have to say
Sure.
about this
Yeah,
fight
it
for
was
now.
a really impressive win by Sean Brady. Again, mentioned what I mentioned before is that he's trying to work his way back up to a contender spot, number one contender. Walking Buckley's now on a two-fight skid. I
Yeah,
hope him the best. Uh, if the UFC wants to, who you give next for Walking Buckley? Because
yeah.
he's in a
Going
very
forward,
sticky situation. Because they gave him a Kamaru Usman, which was a
yeah,
pretty good fight because it's somebody with a lot of name value and a very hard fight. Also,
yeah,
something where he could prove himself to the MMA community, showing like, hey, I really am that guy.
yeah,
He fell short in that one, and then I would say that he got dominated even more in this fight. So
yeah,
it's a odd thing for the UFC for what to do with Walking Buckley. I'm
yeah.
not too sure what to do.
So like, bro, especially with Buckley, he took a year off. A year is a long time. He did not
Yeah, that's
fight
true
for like a
too.
year. It
Yeah.
was like basically he didn't fight for a whole year, and this is what he kind of came back with. Like obviously he is beating himself up too. Like, yeah, so he fought June 14th. He came back May 9th. So 11 months give or take.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
it's that is crazy. Like he was making videos and stuff joking about the fact that
Yeah.
he didn't train grappling at all. I assume that's not true. Like it might seem like it now in hindsight, but I still don't think that's true. He just versus an insane matchup. So like going forward,
Yeah.
like I don't know, Buckley or
You know what I'm thinking?
I don't know.
If he took a
Yeah.
year off from the last time he lost, maybe
Yeah.
we take another year off and maybe we can see him against Shafkat. Who knows?
uh
That would be a pretty cool fight. I'd love to
that
see
would
Shafkat back in the ring, and it'll be a great Tumo fight for
that
Shafkat.
would that would
But
be a cool fight.
this is a bit of a random call, but like, yeah.
No, that would be a cool fight. I'm pretty sure they do have a bit of beef. Like Shafkat, like whoever runs the socials, or if it's him, he did call him out in like a very strange way. But that would be a
Yeah.
cool fight. But I think Buckley's gonna want to come back sooner. He's gonna. I assume he's gonna want more of a striking matchup. So
Mm.
we can actually look at the rankings right now. We can look at the newly released Socratic rankings actually. So if we look at middleweight, let's see, or welterweight. Sorry. So we look at welterweight. So right now we have Buckley placed at 12. So Leon would be a cool matchup. Leon versus Buckley too. That'd be
That'd be a really
fun.
good matchup.
That'd be
I
very
think
fun.
that would be great for the matchmakers. Kind of a
Yeah,
veteran passing the torch on to Walking Buckley.
that'd be
And who
cool.
knows, maybe he can defend his spot.
But yeah,
Speaking of, yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say I think what would be more realistic though is like the UFC throw someone like Oral by, or like they might just throw him into like Oral by, and not gonna lie, it might be cooked for Buckley. But that's the
Wait,
type of thing UFC does.
I have a question about Orobai though.
Yeah.
His last fight was at middleweight, no? His last two fights?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the other way around actually. His last two fights were against middleweights who moved down to welterweight. Yeah,
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I saw that recent change, and I'm like, oh, is he really that big for welterweight?
yeah.
Even though he fought like what's his name? He fought on this card. The guy they had a fight of the year,
Oh yeah,
Rebecca.
Oralback. No, wait, yeah, Oralback, I believe. Yeah. Let's
Yeah, he
see.
fought him. That was a fire fight, and that was that welterweight? Or was that lightweight? Sorry, I'm getting
That
really confused right now.
was at lightweight, I believe.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. So
Yeah, it
he's moved up
was.
to welterweight. That's what I'm
For
thinking
Becky,
about.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That was like
Rebecca.
a yeah, that was his last fight at lightweight, I believe, and then he moved up. And so far he's been killing it.
He's been killing it. He had a crazy knock against Jack Hermanson, but that's beside the point. Let's still
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
focused on this card. Yeah, firefight, great performance by Sean Brady. Always a fun fighter. When people say like, "Oh, grappling is boring," show them a Sean Brady fight
Yeah.
where he's winning,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then they'll be like, "Oh, grappling's sick."
Yeah. And going forward,
Anyway,
I think
yeah,
I would want to see like you said, Brady probably deserves the matchup higher. I would he
mm,
called out Carlos Prates. I think that would be a cool fight, but Prates honestly doesn't have a reason to fight after his last fight. I think he's next for a title after Islam Ian Gary. So
yeah,
if Brady really wants to fight, he was saying that he wants to only take a fight for Philly if it makes sense. It's gonna be someone ranked below him most likely. I don't think Prates is gonna fight him.
that makes sense.
So someone like I said before, someone like Amosov, that would be a cool fight. I don't think Brady would take it because in his mind he deserves someone higher, which is fair if he doesn't want to be active. And then for Buckley,
Yeah,
I would say he needs a heavy rebound, which I don't know if the UFC is gonna grant him. He's been like against a wrestler,
yeah,
it's gonna be tough again. Someone like Leon, I think Leon would be a pretty good matchup for him in terms of a rebound.
yeah.
I think it would be good for Leon
You're
too.
wrong.
So yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I want to see next. But what do you think? What's next for both of them?
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on both of them. Sean Brady, it does seem hard for him to get an opponent above
Yeah,
him because Ian Gary and Carl Proctor are pretty like set with like, listen, we're next for the contenders. What is done is done, and it's
yeah,
like okay, maybe the UC can negotiate with them, try to force them to fight. I don't really know too well how the UC conducts business in that regard.
yeah.
Yeah, opponent below Sean Brady would be very interesting, and I do think he does really well against everyone below him too.
I
I think
agree.
the only people that very scary for him are like Islam Makhachev, who
Yeah,
could negate his wrestling, Michael Morales, who's already knocked him out.
yeah,
Ian Gary could be an interesting one because he's always surprised me the
yeah,
way he performs.
yeah.
Yeah, it would just be great for him. And then Joaquin Buckley, I don't know. They could give him anyone. Like I feel like Joaquin Buckley's become a name, so they could give him a contender and see how he does, or they could give him somebody easy just because they want to give him a free layup. I
Yeah,
don't see any ideal fight for him right now, but I am interested to see what they do next.
that's fair. All right.
Anyways, moving on to the third last fight of the night, Alexander Volkov versus Waldo. A very hmm, this was a fight I was very confident in Volkov winning, but once the fight played out, I wasn't as confident. This was Volkov is from my eyes. Volkov is a veteran.
Yeah,
He's been doing this for a long time. He could come up with a good game plan, which I
yeah, definitely.
do think he did. But the one regard I did not realize he would be so bad at is his, I guess his like athleticism. He seemed a bit slow and
Oh,
stiff.
yeah.
How do you feel about Volkov's performance?
I kind of see where you're coming from. I expected a lot
Yeah,
more out of his jab. He was kind of like a leg kick merchant here. It
yeah,
was like the fight started off really slow, where Volkov just took control with his leg kicks. Acosta like I don't know what he not gonna lie, I don't know what he was doing. He also started very slow. I was very confused
mm,
on his speed too. Like he was very hesitant. Like he does this a lot, especially against like higher
yeah,
comp. But
yeah,
he started speeding up a lot more later into the fight. As the fight progressed, you could see his punches like you're was like, oh shoot, like those are fast now. Especially with the
yeah,
like you said, Volkov is kind of more lengthy. He's kind of slower now. He's getting a bit older.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, Casa was definitely a live dog in this fight. He definitely made it competitive, but I feel like he just started a bit too late, and
yeah, for sure.
he
Yeah,
didn't
so
match the MMA.
yeah, for me it was that. So you can really see Waldo. His game plan wasn't too well made.
Yeah,
He started off really slowly, as you mentioned before, and then the leg kicks got to him and it compromised his movement very badly. So once
yeah,
he started rushing in, which is what he should have done at the beginning, you're versing out opponents taller than you. You got to cut the distance, rush in, try to blitz in, try to. Your boxing's faster too. Try to dirty box with him and try to knock him out. which is when he found the most success. But he didn't do it up until his leg was very compromised.
Yeah, I
And he
agree.
definitely should have done that a lot before. I would have thought Volkov still had a good jab or even a straight,
Yeah.
but like I think Waldo's speed was too much for him. I think he was just too scared to even go in for a jab. He jabbed at some points, but not as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah,
on the side of
I will say
Acosta
though.
too. Yeah.
I'll say one thing though. Waldo has had a pretty good win streak up until now, so it is pretty impressive that veteran is still like keeping like the gate strong and beating off these contenders. But
Yeah.
even then, like in heavyweight, a great win streak isn't like
Yeah, it doesn't
anything
really mean that
crazy
much.
because there are a lot of cans in the division.
Yeah.
Like the first time he versed somebody that is like, really good, Sergey, he lost. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Volkov kind of talked about it. He talked about this fight like a bit in the press conference or post interview, where he was saying like he kind of hates seeing these heavyweight fighters who are just looking for the big punch, which Acosta definitely fitted that role, and he
Yeah.
like he was throwing the 1-2 a lot. He was trying to get that big punch. He was like you could see him loading up too, while Volkov was being more like the pitter patter type of guy where he was just throwing out light kicks, doing consistent damage. He tried mixing in a takedown, it didn't work. Like he is a lot more fundamental in terms of wanting to do MMA. Like he wants to mix everything up. He doesn't just want to be that guy who's looking for that big punch, which it makes sense. Like Volkov has always been that type of guy in the division where he's more of a elite fighter for heavyweight. And he kind of showed it in terms of experience, but I still kind of wish we seen a bit more. Like I want to see him pop that jab. Um,
Yeah.
he had good footwork. He was doing good, but this was like kind of it wasn't a barn burner fight. It was just like kind of back and
Yeah,
forth.
of course,
Like it was cool.
100%. I
But
I believe that this fight also could have went like either way. It was a very
really,
50-50 fight.
yeah, actually,
Um, that's like
thinking about it.
the problem with the UFC is that the judging criteria is like not very specific, which I
Yeah, yeah,
understand.
that's true.
Kind of hard to be specific in like a sport where like so much could happen.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I felt like Volkov overall felt, had the control and had the I guess the overall damage. Like you see how compromised Waldo's legs were.
yeah,
But I felt Waldo had the bigger moments with the combos. But
yeah,
like personally, I thought Volkov won. Some people on Twitter didn't. But yeah.
yeah. And not gonna lie, like these statistics are kind of like hard to read sometimes because like even with significant strikes, like it's kind of hard to kind of grasp what they actually like declare as significant and then just a strike. Like it says that he has 88 significant strikes, but I think those are probably attributed most towards the legs. Like he had 43, but it's kind of hard to see. I guess like I don't know if they do it in real time or like after the effect of it, because like I guess it's kind of accurate because well, Costa kind of hit it well at times, but his leg was definitely getting beat up. So like it's kind of hard to say,
Right,
but
right.
I think you're right though. The fight was a bit closer now that I kind of like replay it in my head. I still had
Mm,
Volkov winning, but Costa definitely made it a fight that he could have won, but it
fair
was
enough.
just that early fight. But going forward, what do you think these guys' futures hold? What do you think they should get?
Okay, heavyweight division is so random. You can't tell ever what's gonna happen next. So
Yeah,
I don't know who Costa will fight.
yeah,
Um, again, he could fight. It will definitely be somebody below him.
yeah.
Ooh, you know what could be a good idea?
But
If Josh Hittick, is that his name? Hittick?
Hockett,
Hockett, sorry,
yeah,
Hockett. Josh Hockett. If he beats Derek Lewis at the White House card, she probably will. That's my prediction. But if he
yeah,
does beat him, I think him versus Waldo would be a really good fight. Waldo's I'm pretty high up in the heavyweight rankings, so hey, give him
I
Hockett
agree.
and let's see what
I
happens.
agree. That's a
But
really good fight.
yeah, for sure. And then for Alexander Volkov, he's in a sticky situation. He fought Steel Gain, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was last year, and he lost. But people are saying like, "Hey, hold up, I feel like he won." Like people were saying like
Yeah,
it's one of the biggest robberies in like UFC history.
yeah.
I'm
People
so
are people are
it's
really
not.
mad.
I'm just yeah. People were really upset with that one. Dana even went up to him and said like, "Hey man, the judges really screwed you over. We're gonna give you two more contenders."
Yeah,
But
that was jokes.
I really thought after Dana said that, like he was gonna give him the title fight instead of it gone, but like I guess it never happens. But anyways, my whole tangent is about the fact that Volkov is trying to get a title fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe he beat Khan. If he beat Khan that night, he would be next for the title. He'd be fighting Alex Pereira right now. But
Yeah.
hey, I guess that's not how the win goes.
He would.
Uh, See how long Tom waits on the sidelines, and I guess at this point, he just gotta wait. He's an old guy, but he's gotta wait for the title shot.
Yeah, I agree. And correctly, he would be fighting Pereira because that fight after Shogun won, he went on to get the title shot. While
Mm,
what do you call it? Volkov had to fight two more contenders, and the UFC.
mm,
It was weird because Dana went up to him. He's like, "Yo, we're gonna make sure we have you. We get you right. Like you're good, bro. Don't worry.
yeah,
Like the judges did you dirty. They found two more contenders. I feel like after Jilton and Amida, he should have been next. He shouldn't have had to fight again. But he decided to be
yeah,
active. He decided to cement his spot. And
yeah,
after Alex Perez, Cyril gone, and then the winner of that versus what's his name, Aspinall. I think after that,
yeah,
Volkov should definitely be the next up. And no matter what, like I love Volkov as a heavyweight fighter. I think he's always been on the more elite side, especially after that
yeah,
Pavlik performance. Now he beat Acosta. Like he's being the young guys. He's being the up and comer still. There's only
yeah,
very few echelon of people in heavyweight who beat him, which is Shogun, which very debatable fight, and Asmo,
yeah,
who is like one of the greatest heavyweights of all time already. And
for sure.
yeah, so he should definitely get the title shot next. While Acosta should fight someone like Hackett, or even Gazayev just lost to. I think that's a pretty good fight
Yeah,
to Brando Perepik. He is also a very in shape heavyweight. He's also more on the elite side. He's a dog, especially at that Gazayev fight. He is he looks like he has a very bright future, and I think that would be an amazing fight. I think Perepik would be able to push the pressure and actually make Acosta fight a fight.
that'd be scary for Costa. I won't lie. I think
Yeah, I agree.
that'd be a very good fight. Actually, I agree with you. I would love to see that fight. If I even more than Josh hit kick, but yeah. Anyways, should we move on to the co-main fight?
Yeah,
For me,
this
I don't know about
was
you. This was
this was a
my fight of the
banger.
night. This
This
was
was a
a
banger, most
amazing
definitely.
fight. I love flyweight fights when they're like really competitive because it's just you go to the ground, you go to the feet, and then
I
boxing
agree.
exchange. One person gets knocked down, gets up. Like it's a long battle. It's not like they have flash KO, which I always love a flash KO. Sorry,
Yeah,
a KO.
yeah,
But this was a great fight. A lot of people doubted Joshua Van because they're like, hey, he didn't really win the title legit against Pantoja.
yeah,
Pantoja just felt weird. And then he had a funny remark. He's like, hey, a black belt in jiu-jitsu should know how to fall, which is pretty funny. I would
yeah.
still
That was
say
jokes.
that like we do need to see that fight back, Pantoja versus Van. But aside from that fight, let's talk about this fight. Joshua Van versus Tastaro. Tastaro came up as the overdog, uh, showing kind of the lack of confidence people had in Van.
Yeah,
But hey, Joshua Van was killing everyone even before the Pantoja fight.
except Charles
Do you
Johnson,
think?
dark horse. Yeah,
Sorry.
gone.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
a
Charles
dark
Johnson.
horse, bro.
He
A
won
dark
round
horse.
one, and then he got KO'd round two. Some people actually say it was
I
an
think it
early
was
stoppage too. Funny enough, I don't think so. It was
yeah,
a legit loss. But then he went on this crazy win streak, and do you
round
think
three KO. But yeah,
Joshua, aside from hindsight, do you think Joshua Van deserved to be underdog in this fight?
not gonna lie, I was very high on Tatsuro Taira. I thought he was gonna
Oh,
win this fight
really?
too. Not gonna lie, like even our users, like as you can see, like 7-3, a lot of our users had Tatsuro Taira winning this fight.
Yeah,
But yeah, Joshua Van definitely shocked a lot of people, including me. I thought Taira was gonna go in there and kind of not dominate, but he would be able to make use of his grappling at a very high level and to the extent to where he can eventually sub Joshua Van. But we saw Joshua Van show off a lot of new things. He had an amazing butterfly guard. He definitely and all of his get-ups were amazing. There was like I'm pretty
oh
sure
yeah,
there was one
100%.
get-up like the way he got up without fully exposing his back was amazing. Like you could tell in his who is in his training camp, those guys did their work. They prepared
100%.
him to the teeth. It's actually crazy.
100%. I believe that because Joshua Van's limbs are smaller, he was able to escape and get out of very sticky situations
Oh,
a lot more
because
easily and
he's a bit
get the
stubby, yeah?
butterfly guard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
because
he, he is
of
a definitely a stubby
Tastaro's
guy.
longs are, yeah, 100%. It's great get ups. I was actually one of the three people on the site who predicted Joshua Van.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to brag or nothing.
Yeah.
My theory was that, yes, I agree. Tastaro's grappling is better than Van's, but this is not a grappling match. This is a MMA match. If
Yeah,
you're striking, I felt like it was so black and white. I felt like Joshua Van was leagues above Tasataro, and I believe this fight did show it. But like it was impressive how badly Joshua Van was outstriking him. He was so fast and quick with his
I
combos.
agree.
That's the thing. Like you see somebody with like Tom Aspinall, who's very quick with his boxing, and he's a
Yeah,
good one too. But then you see Joshua Van who does like a 1-2
was so much
uppercut,
better.
hook, left. He steps
It's
back,
levels.
hits him with a jab. It's insane
His
how
jab,
good his boxing
bro,
is.
his jab was on point. That was insane.
His jab was on point. Oh, Tazataro needs to work on his head movement. Like, what is he doing?
Yo,
But
like
I'm sure Joshua Van got a lot of people's respect for this fight. Like, oh my god.
100%, 100%. You know, I never fully counted out Ben. I never like I I like it's kind of hard to say his win was fully legitimate against Pantoja. I still think Pantoja wins that, to be honest, but like I'm not as confident as I once was because of this fight. Like I can't just be like, oh shoot, like yo, Pantoja runs over him, and that's no disrespect to Pantoja because I still think he's a killer. But there's if he can show that ability to get up and that ability of a training camp to actually prepare for this type of grappler, you know, it
Yeah.
may raise some eyebrows of maybe there's an upside that can happen. But to focus more on this fight now,
100%.
like Tatsuro Taira, like I thought his fight against I believe his name is, I don't want to butcher it, Hyung Sung Park. I thought his boxing looked improved. He knocked him with the two, like a little crossover, and I thought he fought really well. But that fight did not translate at all towards this fight. Um,
Yeah.
apparently
Shows
Tyra,
leagues, man. Shows leagues.
yeah, it shows leagues. Tyra apparently he trains at Inoue's gym, so you'd expect him to have a bit of head movement at the very minimum. But I guess it's one of those things where it's like, since like you have a certain style, right? And
Mm.
if you built those bad fundamentals kind of going up, especially with your striking, then those are the things you'll kind of rely on once you start getting hurt, once you start getting in the flow, and like you kind of rely on your muscle memory kind of kicking in for what you did hours and then training instead of like what you should be doing. And I think that played a big part because like I think in round two when he got knocked down, he was winning that round two in my opinion. It was a close round, but when he got knocked down, he threw a naked leg kick without moving his head at all. He didn't move his head off the center line, so he just came down straight, knocked him down, and almost finished him in that round. And even round four where he got the takedown, I believe, and kind of controlled him for a bit. Yeah, it was this round. He had 3 minutes and 15 seconds of control. I don't even think he won this round, to be honest. I think it was 3-1 going into the fifth, because he had all that control on the ground, but the person who was doing all the damage and the actual impactful damage was Joshua Van. And I think this ties into a bigger part of, we see this first round over here. He had 3 minutes and 40 seconds of control. He shot 5 takedowns. He got 4 of them. I think this ties into a bigger issue we've been seeing with grapplers and just, fighters in general, to where they use and exert a lot of energy early or just at a certain point of a fight, and they don't actually get anything back from it. So they're trading they're trading off that energy. They're putting so much work into getting a position, for example, and then they're not doing any damage. And yeah, they could be hunting a sub, which is completely fair. But in MMA, in my personal opinion, I think that, and it's not crazy to say that if you work in ground and pound, the sub is gonna come in easier. You're gonna get your opponent thinking.
Yeah,
You're
that's a
you're
great
gonna
point.
make them actually do different things. You're not gonna make them comfortable. That's what you should be doing when you have like positions like full mount. And we saw Brady do that. We saw Brady posture up, and
Yeah.
obviously it's a bit harder with flyweight because these guys are a bit more active on the ground. But we didn't really see any attempt from Tatsuro Taira to even land any strikes in any transitions. Kind of getting any damage off, and I think that affected it going into the fight. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. I would like to say, first of all, I think Tazataro didn't want to get up or posture up and start doing ground and pound because he was a bit scared that he would let go of Van.
I
Like
agree.
his whole entire stick was grappling. If he gets on his feet, it's Batten would have killed him. And that's the honest truth. And another thing I would like to point out too is funny that you mentioned the control time around four, because two
Yeah,
of the three judges actually gave that round as a 10-8 round to Joshua Van. Funny enough. So
really,
like it really
round
does
four?
show you that like yeah, round four too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember thinking when I read that, I was like, wow, if Power won round five, it would have been a draw.
Yeah,
But aside from that, but sorry, what was I about to say? Yeah, another thing I want to say about round four too. Aside, just kind of a random pointer I want to talk about was Testaro's heart. He
Yeah.
almost died round four, and then he got up and he took down Joshua Van and ended the round on top of him, which really did show his heart and how he just keep on going, going, going. And speaking of his heart, I need to talk about the finish. A lot of people were saying that was a bit of a premature stoppage, and Tastaro even like protested the stoppage too. Was quite angry with the ref. Do you think the stoppage was premature?
Let me just double check this real quick. I think you might be tripping. Oh, it was round three. You were thinking of round three. I gave yeah,
Oh,
round
was
three.
10-8?
Okay. Yeah, round three was the 10
Okay.
round. So we're kind of mixing up a bit. But you described it well though, where like he kind of recovered like that. Which was yeah, I thought
Was
round
was round
honestly,
three? Was wait, sorry, was round three the one where he almost died and he got up and he took him down at the end of the round?
uh I think that was round three because I remember round two ending in the way where like he got knocked down and he was just fighting for survival. That's what I remember. But that would make sense because
Mm,
let's look at these like stats right here. Like he got blown out the water this round. It wasn't even close. And I remember this round too being like, oh shoot, like yo, he is not looking good for Tyra. And Tyra, he was firing back at points, but like you said, like eh, he uh he was on the grips or the grasp of death, and then he still fought back. He didn't quit. He survived the round, recovered a bit, had a better round four, and then eventually got finished. And what do you think about that stoppage? By the way, it's not that controversial because like the damage accumulated, but like some people were saying it was early, and especially Tyra. Tyra kind of felt like he showed off his frustration with it.
yeah. So for me, it brought me back to the Izzy stoppage against Pereira. Izzy versus Pereira won,
Yeah,
where Izzy was against the fence and Pereira was teeing off of him, and he didn't drop to the ground. He had his hands up and he's just moving side to side, and Pereira just kept hitting him, hitting him, hitting him. And then the ref stopped him. And
yeah,
a lot of people were protesting that that was an early stoppage, but when you really look at it in hindsight, he was taking a lot of damage. That could have
yeah.
been very terrible for his MMA career. It's the ref's job to protect the
Protect
fighter.
the fighter. You're
No
right.
matter what, these fighters in the MMA and the UFC aren't gonna quit. They're dogs.
Yeah,
They're not like us. No matter what's
yeah.
happened, they're still gonna be up there trying to win the fight.
That's
And I
true.
do think the ref protected Taro. He was taking a crap ton of damage up until that point, and then that final combo. And now it's kind of funny because Taro was doing the same thing as Izzy, where he's kind of shelling up, he's getting hit by everything. The ref was trying to stop Van, but before he could stop Van, Van hit him with one more punch, and that knocked down um Asutaro to his knees.
Yeah,
But like, if the ref didn't step in at all, it would have been a lot worse. Obviously,
yeah.
there is a
That's
chance
true.
Tastaro could grab on a leg, held up.
Survived.
I
Yeah.
guess in a hypothetical world, maybe he could have won the round, but I just don't think that's something the ref should be thinking about in that given moment. He took so much damage. We're trying to protect the fighters. I think it was a fine stoppage.
Yeah, I think you put it best that way. Like I didn't really think about it that way to be honest. Where it's like obviously it's a rough job, but I didn't kind of like put it in perspective where they gotta protect the fighter. Like I thought that
Mm,
personally I thought Tyra had more to give, but I think when you put it like that, like you're right to where like he's always gonna have more to give. Like it's
mm,
he's not gonna quit. Like and that's just gonna lead to him
yeah,
taking more unneeded damage. Because let's be honest, like him winning that fight, there was like a 1% chance. Like let's be honest, like he would
yeah,
have to pull out a Hail Mary,
100%.
and
Yeah,
there is times like obviously it's a championship level fight. You want to give them that opportunity, but it gets to a point to where like if there's no coming back, and that's what seems like for Tyra. But I do think both
yeah,
these guys will see each other in the future again. I still think Tyra has a bright future. I am on the Tyra train, and I'm not gonna obviously say that he can beat Van. We gotta actually like let it play out and see. But I do think they will eventually rematch. I think Tyra is still at a very high
sure.
level, but Van showed off amazing improvement, and he did what he does best. He boxed his head off from what we saw.
And this is a fire fight, so I'm sure the fans will want to watch this fight again. And they're both incredibly young.
Yeah, I definitely
Like
need to
I'm
rewatch
sure
this
this
fight
fight,
again. I need to see
yeah,
it.
this fight would. And also, the fact they're young show that they will improve a lot over the years too. Imagine 5 years from now.
Exactly.
Imagine the type of fighters they'll become.
Exactly. One of them's 24, the other is 26, I believe, which is insane. This is
Yeah, I
the
think
first,
26. Yeah.
yeah, this is the first ever fight of two people, or first ever title shot of two people born after 2000 or 2000 and above, which is insane. Like it's showing the progression of the
Oh,
sport. It's actually sad to
really
see that
is.
like flyweight is such a like advanced division. It's just so fun to watch. Like every fight is almost a banger.
Yeah,
Even fights like on the prelims, like these fights are just bangers. And like you'll see
yeah,
them like they get no respect at all. Like nobody cares. But
yeah,
hopefully, I think honestly Van is more marketable compared to Pantoja, and that's not a knock to Pantoja because Pantoja his fights are amazing. Like everyone wants to tune in, but I think the factor that Van is young, he kind of has a bit more swagger to him. Is it
yeah.
might reignite the division. It might make the UFC more more like promotable in terms of, or it may make flyweight seem more promotable now. Which, in my opinion, I think the UFC could promote anything that they want if they actually tried. But hopefully, they actually see this as something worth it.
I mean, talking about cool Van is he just comes in there. He's 22 years old, but he walks in there like a veteran. He walks in there like he's done this 1,000 times, and like nothing's affecting him. Nothing's
24, yeah.
sorry, not
Yeah.
22. He's
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said 22, but
Yeah. What?
second youngest champ by the way. But he comes in there so cool, calm, collected, and I'm just really excited for him against Pantoja. Sure.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely when
I'm
you
gonna
see
say
next.
sure. I'm sure you agree that for next Joshua Van's next fight is Pantoja. He
Yeah,
already called him out, which I love. Sometimes a lot of fighters will be like, "Oh, I already beat you. I already beat you," even though it's kind of like a if you
exactly. Yeah, he
win,
wants to smoke. He
he,
wants it.
he wants to smoke. I love that out of a fighter. Yeah, he's definitely gonna become a fan favorite if he isn't already. And Tatsutaro is back into rankings and trying to get back, work his way up to the number one contender spot. What do you think is next for Tatsutaro?
That's to retire. First, he needs to. I would say he needs to take a bit of time off because that was a beating. Let's be honest. Like he took a
Yeah,
lot of damage.
that was a
I
bad
don't think
beating.
he shouldn't rush into
A
his
bad
next fight.
beating for sure. It's bad beating, and he also needs to show. He
Yeah,
also has a lot to work on too. I feel like
exactly.
the fight
Yes.
showed a lot of the holes in his game.
Exactly. Yeah, he struggled to keep him down, and he struggled on the feet. He didn't really have nice distance management. He kind of I noticed a lot in the fight, and it could have been to exhaustion and the work that Van was doing. He kind of let his hands down at times. Like he did a lot where he kind of was like he thought he could manage the dish. Like it felt like he kind of like he could manage the distance. Like that's what he felt like. So he kind of lowered his hand,
Yeah,
like trying to feint takedowns, but he just kept on eating the jab. He kept on eating shots over and
yeah.
over again, which you can only do that to a certain point. And like looking at the rankings right now, Kyoji and Cape are booked next. The winner of that is gonna fight the winner of Joshua Van Pantoja. So I don't think he should rush back in, to be honest, because we have Asu fighting. I think he's fighting Charles Johnson. I think I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he should rush back in. I don't think he's gonna fight Brandon Royval. It's kind of hard to say. He already beat Moreno. Amir Albazi. I mean, Amir Albazi wouldn't be a horrible fight to take, honestly. He It's kind of rewarding Albazi for, Albazi's on the skid himself. I would rather see
Yeah.
Albazi against someone like Steve Urquhart, for example. So maybe they can see the climate of flyweight when Tatsuro Taro is ready to come back. I think maybe the loser of Kyoji versus Cape would be a good fight to take, honestly. I think that's a perfect fight. Either
I
that
completely
or the
agree.
winner of Asu versus Charles Johnson. I believe that's the fight that's coming up.
I completely agree with you. A lot can change. Like, let's say he does take a year off, which does make sense. Took a lot
Yeah.
of damage. A lot can change in division.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the final fight
The
tonight.
main event.
The fight that we've been waiting
The
for,
main
that
event.
all the hype was around.
This was
Sean Strickland versus Hamzat Chimaev.
this was
Oh my God.
it's
This is one of the
unbelievable.
most bullshit fights I've ever seen in my life. I did not think anything
This
that
was
happened would have happened. I'll say that.
this was crazy.
Um, a very big upset. One of the biggest upsets in UFC history. I'll say that.
100%.
I feel like everyone thought that Hamza was gonna win or was just gonna do him the way he did DDP. And
Yeah.
obviously, there was always like conversation that hey, Sean Strickland's never been. Nobody's even tempted a submission attempt on
Yeah.
Sean Strickland, which shows how good his technical ability to get up from bad positions really is, because he has been taken down before.
I agree.
But I don't think so. Anybody really saw the fight play out as it did. Like round one, Hamza did his thing.
Yeah.
He controlled Sean Strickland for the entire round, and I expected round two to be very similar. Now,
Yeah.
Hamza's gas tank has always been a question. Ever since what was the first? I guess Usman was the first time his gas tank was really under question, right? Gilbert Burns was more like a
Uh
barn fight.
Yeah, I'd say Usman, but the question was always there because it'd be like, okay, like he can do this to you for the first round, but what if it gets past the first round? Like
Mm,
what happens?
yeah,
We don't know.
because there was a point where he had more UFC wins than strikes landed on him because of how fast he would end the fights, which is
Exactly.
an
Yeah.
insane stat, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, round one, Hamzat wins that dominant grappling. Round two, Hamzat strikes for a bit, tries going for a takedown, gets
Round
stuffed,
two, bro.
tries going for another
We
takedown,
gotta stop at round two.
gets
Not gonna
stuffed
lie. Like
again.
that was.
Yeah, I'll stop around two. Don't
Oh
even
my
worry about
god.
it. He goes to his back, and to me, he kind of just gives up. I don't know what happened.
It was like,
I don't.
yo, that
It
was
just
like
makes sense.
that was one of the craziest things I was seeing. I don't think anyone has like a real explanation for what happened. That was like we'd never
Yeah.
seen Hamza do something like him pulling guard like that was like, yo, what the hell is going on? Is he hurt? Did he get injured? Like, what the hell happened? Like, nobody knows. Why did he randomly pull guard like that? And Strickland did a good job utilizing. He didn't waste any time. He got right on top. He landed ground and pound. Like, he didn't waste any time. He controlled Hamza for the rest of the round. He secured that round. And after that round, not gonna lie, I thought it was over. I was scared of Hamza getting finished. I thought Hamza was like, it was looking really bad after that.
It was so weird too because he just fell to his back, which
Yeah.
you might do if you're like very badly hurt. But if you're gassed out, you don't just fall to your back. You have a hard time standing up and like you just keep fighting. But he really just, I guess it could have been a fight IQ thing where he realized like yo, I'm very gassed,
Yeah.
and Sean can outstrike me right now. If I go to the ground, Sean will just lay over me. He doesn't have good ground and pound.
Yeah.
Um, could have been a fight IQ thing, but that's very like 40 chest type behavior, and I don't think any fighter really thinks like that in the cage. But
Yeah.
I who would have thought Sean Strickland out grappled Hamza Chimaev for a round? That's what happened. That I remember on Twitter the screenshot of Hamza Chimaev on top of sorry, Sean Strickland on top of Hamza Chimaev was
Yo, that was
going
like
crazy, going
it was
crazy. Everyone thought it was
crazy,
AI.
man.
There's no way it's true.
That was crazy.
But just to show how bonkers the fight really was, round two, Sean Strickland out grapples Hamza, and then round three, uh, Hamza says, "Screw it, I was just strike with you the entire round." And there were points of it where Hamza was actually getting the better of Sean Strickland, and
Yeah.
um, I won't lie, there is a case to say Hamza outstruck Sean Strickland in round three. What do you think happened in round three? What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so this is like a big conversation. Like everyone kind of like agrees that it goes down to round three. Round three was like very, very
Yes,
close.
round
And
three is definitely the one.
yeah, so a lot of Strickland fans, the way it is right now is like you even mentioned the fact that like, oh shoot, round two is close and maybe Hamza won that and the fight could have went in his favor. They go crazy.
Yeah,
But it's a good question to be honest. Like round three was a close round. You know, nobody's arguing. Most people aren't arguing the fact that Strickland won. It was a close fight, not a robbery at all. Not at
not
all.
robbery for sure. I, I'll say this though.
Yeah,
If you look at damage and control, Hamza was the one controlling the pace. He was the one pushing forward. He was the
yeah,
one I felt was hitting the harder strikes. But when you do look at the strike numbers, Strickland does have 10 more strikes than Hamza, which is
yeah,
why I think the judges gave it around to him. But I will say this about Hamza striking. Round four was also a round that was like pretty much all striking. Maybe there's like one
yeah,
takedown attempt. Hamza won that one very clearly, which I will say shows Hamza striking is actually really good.
yeah,
He can really push forward, and I would say I think the reason why it's so good is I think he has power. I think
yeah.
Sean Strickland kept going on the back foot. He couldn't really fight back.
Definitely.
Very surprising round three and round four. So do you think in round three, Hamzat won a round, or do you think Sean Strickland, the judges made the right call and
Um,
Sean Strickland won a round?
Honestly, I think optics, like you can't really stop it to be honest, but optics play in every single fight. So like this fight, Hamza was expected to completely dominate in grappling, like completely just blow him out the water, control him, and that didn't end up happening.
Yeah,
So I feel like the optics kind of were most definitely were in Strickland's side, especially going into the third. He almost had him
that's true
finished.
too.
He almost finished Hamza. Like that's the reality of things. Hamza,
Yeah,
he pulled guard. As crazy as it sound, he obviously it wasn't like a position like it's like, oh shoot, like the ref's about to pull him off, but it was at a position where it's like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like it is a real possibility to where something badly could happen going into the next round. Like he looked horrible. It was the worst Hamza has ever looked in his whole career, but he brought it back.
yeah,
but the optics were still on Strickland's side to where he is the striker. He's keeping up on the feet. He is implementing his game. And that kind of takes away from Hamza because Hamza was also implementing his striking game, but we don't see Hamza's striking game.
Yeah.
We don't see him strike usually. So
Yeah.
the volume definitely went to Strickland. Strickland did what he always does: his back up, throw out a jab, jab, always landing a jab, and that is to his credit too. Hamza was not moving his head. Strickland took advantage. He had a very accurate jab, and yeah, I mean, I'm not. I I would say I would lean a bit towards Chimaev just because if we're going off of like how quote unquote they're supposed to be scored damage, but
Mm.
it's very inconsistent. I don't mind anyone giving the round to Strickland because Strickland also looked pretty good in that round. And yeah, and then like you said, going into the fourth, that was probably Hamza's best round overall in the fight when it comes to just striking and how he looked in the round technically. I mean, round one is obviously his best round, but round
Yeah.
four was his second best round. He looked good. He was landing the jab. He was landing the two. He was doing good. And then
Very impressive
yeah,
striking.
very impressive. Yeah, and then he ended the round off with a takedown. Like it was a
Yeah.
perfect MMA round for him, man. I think I really like going into the future, I think we should see more rounds from Hamza like this, where he doesn't just shoot all in with the takedown. Like that, that was crazy. Like he did what he always does, but he didn't get the finish. And then we saw in the second round, he either had like an adrenaline because we've never seen Hamza like this before too. This like the way we saw Hamza was like okay, Hamza has gas before like against like Usman for example. We saw him slow down a
Yeah.
lot, but we've never seen him slow down to the point where he gives up on a takedown. He doesn't chain wrestle into the takedown like he did against someone like Whitaker. He just completely just pulls guard. Like that's it's crazy. Like who like we've never seen that before. And there I'm trying to find this clip, but there was a clip of Hamza getting tagged by Strickland. Like he hit a nice two, and he kind of Hamza kind of buckled his feet, and people are saying that that kind of attributed to what rocked or what possibly could have hurt Hamza. And I don't know if that's true to be honest, but I'm gonna find the clip.
I don't think it's true either. I saw it on Twitter also. It was like like Sean just landed a nice 1-2, and then like Hamza went back a little bit. His eyes didn't look like they closed, and like as a fighter, like why would you? There's no way you got rocked so badly to pull guard. Like you only really pull
Uh,
guard when you're like very very out of it, and you're
yeah.
on the verge of getting killed.
I think
But he was
people
still standing
are.
fine, and you got a takedown too.
Let me find the clip. But I would say the weirdest thing about it was the way his legs kind of buckled, where he got the hit and then he kind of like his hands were like kind of. I need to find the clip. We need to see it in real time. Let me
Yeah,
see
but
if I
like
can
I've
find it.
never seen that at any other MMA fight I've seen.
I agree, but I think another thing with
I
Hamza
think that's
too
the
is
biggest thing.
yeah, I think the thing was
Yeah.
we've never seen Hamza completely rocked. Like we've seen him knocked down by Burns, but we haven't seen him to a point where he's like kind of rocked. So and someone like Hamza, we can assume that he would have a nice poker face. I think that's fair to say. Where like if he gets rocked, he's not gonna completely just be out of it.
Okay,
You
but
know?
if he had a good poker face, then why would he go to the ground? Like why
Because
would he pull guard? Sorry.
oh no, I'm not speaking about that part. I'm speaking about after where like he got hit by a 1-2 and then he shoots a takedown right after. But let
And
me
yeah, but
find
like
it.
if you're saying he has a good poker face, right?
Yeah.
That would mean that like he wouldn't just collapse to the ground and just pull guard because like it was a very like Donna kind of backed off for a second and he went to his back. So for
Yeah.
me, that shows that he doesn't have a good poker face. It was a very weird sequence. I don't think he's even talked about it yet because I don't think he did a post fight interview. But like, yeah,
Yeah, there hasn't
I'm
been
very curious on what was happening there.
yeah, there hasn't been that much information coming of his camp. And this fight especially is making people question his fight like his camp more. And me too to be honest cuz now that like hindsight you kind of think about it like yo, where's this guy training? He's training at Bear Jackson Podcast, like they have a compound which it looks like a elite facility which has a bunch of different resources, but like he it doesn't seem like he has that much structure if that makes sense. He was training with
Sure.
Dillashaw's coach too, which now like reading a bit more about it, people kind of question his uh his coaching methods, and it could be a situation where it works for some and not for others. But people are saying that um his training methods is very, very extreme to where it puts you through a lot. And for someone like Hamza, we've known that that type of training is actually counterproductive for him. We've seeing Hamzat completely, like, he was training during COVID. He completely destroyed his immune system, for example. So like hindsight now, like we can talk about it where it's like, oh shoot, like yo, was this really the best thing for Hamzat? What do you think?
Sure. Sorry, I just want to say one more thing. I gotta put my laptop in. Just cut this part out.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you said? What's your thoughts on Hamza's training regimen?
Yeah, his camp.
All right.
Excuse me.
All right. I'll start right now. Are you go with it?
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about Hamza's training regimen, I think one thing we do need to consider is the fact that there's a rumor from one of his teammates, Cleo Roundtree, that he was actually supposed to move up to 205
Mm,
up until the point Sean Strickland beat Fluffy. Once he
yeah.
beat Fluffy, they made a fight with Sean Strickland, and I'm assuming that the UFC gave him a lot of money to fight Sean Strickland, so he took the fight with Sean Strickland. And I think that was a big problem because if you're a fighter at middleweight and you're going 205, the first thing you do is I need bulk up. I need to put as much mass as possible. And that's quite bad because if you have to cut a lot of weight, you have to cut more weight the heavier you are. No brainer. And
Yeah.
that's going to fatigue you a lot more and make your immune system a lot worse, which is already bad for Hamza. Somebody who's known to have a weak immune system and fatigue.
Yeah.
Adding on to that, I love your point about the Jackson podcast. How professional is this environment? Is he getting the proper training? Is he conditioning himself well? It doesn't seem like it. It seemed like he gave up round two. That's what I think. So a
Yeah.
lot of questions for Hamzat that I guess he doesn't have to answer them online, but he has to answer them in the octagon.
Yeah. Well, I found the
So
clip. I found the clip I was talking about real quick. Let's watch it real quick. What's
yeah,
this? Oh shoot, it's kind of loud. So right here. So this was for context. This was one. I believe it was. Oh shoot, one sec. Cameras. Okay, it's good now. So I believe this was 1 minute before the really bad takedown defense where he pulled guard, and this is what people are
yeah,
allegedly saying to where Hamza actually got rocked. So this is. Let me replay the clip. And it was to the point. This was a night like 100%. This was a nice shot. I don't know the extent it hurt Hamza, but the commentators didn't even realize like it hit right here.
yeah.
So people are saying like, and this is a clean shot right on the chin, and like the way his legs kind of buckle is what people are kind of pointing out. Where like,
Yeah, his legs do buckle. You're not wrong about
yeah,
that.
so it's
But
kind
for
of it's
me,
hard
it's
to
like
say. It's hard to say.
it is hard to see. But even then, okay. So the thought process with this, assuming that he got rocked really bad here, which he probably did,
Hmm.
he gets a bit terrified or scared, or he realizes he's not fit to fight with him on the feet,
The
and
strike,
he
yeah,
needs to shoot a takedown. Yeah, strike. He needs to shoot a takedown. He shoots a takedown, goes terribly. He tries to shoot again, goes terribly, and he decides, I can't strike with him. I can't land a takedown. I just got to pull guard. I just got to fall my back and just let him do whatever he wants. For me, I guess that could be a thought process he has, but if that's a thought process he has, it's just he's just giving up.
yeah,
I just don't like it. I just don't
yeah.
think that's a mindset of a champion.
I would say
That's
though,
just me.
like this isn't the worst it could have been for Hamzat. Like you said, like he could have given up in round two, like this completely. Like it looked like he just completely, like fully just gassed out and no energy. But he came back and made the fight competitive. Round three, four, and five were
That's true. You're
really
not
hard
wrong.
rounds, and he was
He had a,
more confident than anyone thought, especially on the feet.
yeah, for sure. I was somebody who disrespected Hamza's striking a lot. I still do think his defensive striking is quite bad. He
Yeah,
kind of stands there, just takes punches, and he just charges at you.
yeah, the head
I think
movement.
there was somebody with like very precise striking, like Israel Adesanya with takedown defense.
Yeah,
Could be very scary, but yeah. Round five, Sean Strickland pretty confidently outstruck him. It was really round three. That was the question of who really won that one. The
yeah,
two or three judges gave it to Sean, gave him a split decision win, making him a two-time champion, which
yeah,
is quite impressive.
yeah.
It's funny because both times he became champion was when he was huge underdogs,
Huge
and
underdog. Yeah,
I'm, I'm sure he has like the two out of three biggest upsets in like middleweight championship history. The only
Probably
other one could be like Anderson Silva versus like Chris Weidman.
Weidman. Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it's such an insane stat, such an insane like it's one
Yeah.
of those you just had to be there. The day he beat Izzy, the day he beat Hamzat,
It's crazy.
insane fight experience. What do you see next for these two fighters?
Yeah, and to circle back on one more thing on the point I brought before with these wrestlers or just fighters in general, like putting a lot of effort early and not getting the results that
Mm,
they want. And that ties into like Hamza, he used to have some ground and pound. Obviously it wasn't anything crazy, but he used to mix in some ground and pound. We saw against Whitaker, he was still mixing some punches before he went for the choke. We saw against Kamaru Usman when he had him fully flattened out, he went for strikes. In this fight, it looked like he was more just BJJ pilled, where maybe he kind of imagined it to go straight like the same way as the way that they trained, to where he just takes him down, controls him, smothers him, and goes for the sub. But in the fight, like as we saw,
I'm
it went completely
yeah.
different.
I'm assuming it's because it's harder to keep Sean Strickland down. I
Most
think he was
definitely.
in a lot more dominant positions in the other
But
fights. Maybe because of his weight. Because I think these wrestlers are they're really
yeah,
confident. They can really feel you really well and understand
yeah,
what they can and can't do. Maybe he realized there wasn't any instance where he could their ground and pound. But I will agree with you that one, obviously he needs to work his ground and pound. Number two, his next step should be he should get better at mixing things up. For me, it does seem like he either only strikes or only wrestles.
I agree.
Like wherever he's striking, I don't see a threat of him shooting a takedown. What's your thoughts on that?
That's fair. But one thing I'd say about your point about it being hard to like hold them down. The thing is, like with
Yeah,
all these fights, right? We've like and even not just wrestling, right? Like even for example, like Lerone Murphy versus Mofsar.
yeah.
Murphy looked nice in his striking early on. He looked good, but he didn't get any substantial damage off to where it kind of hurt Mofsar or make Mofsar a worsened fighter. And especially in a fight where it was fully on the feet, that's. I don't think Mofsar fought it like he shot a takedown since round till round three. So that was those first two rounds were completely Mofsar Laron's domain. And like you said with holding them down, or like it's very hard to hold them down. Like we saw in these fights, they got up either way. Like imagine, like instead of either going for like the chain wrestle or on the transition while getting up, they struck a bit more. They kind of did more damage. They tried to hit something, kind of getting them up and punishing them rather than just trying to traditionally hold them down. We could have at least seen some some rounds sway into Hamza's favor. Like for example, round five, like we're looking at the stats, he got 6 out of 7 takedowns with a minute and 30 seconds of control, but he did nothing with that control damage wise. So that round
That's true.
clearly went to Strickland. Like, and it was near the tail end of the round too. A lot of judges are very goldfish
Recently
minded.
biased.
Yeah, recently biased.
Yeah,
So end of the round matters a lot, and Hamzat kind of just used it to control rather than actually land substantial damage, and that at the end of the day that did cost him the fight in a sense.
for
So
sure. I agree. Yep.
yeah, go on.
I agree with everything you just said. Excited to see what happens with Hamza Chimaev next. I heard from Dana that Hamza told him that he done with the middleweight division. He's going up to 205, which is quite surprising considering the fact he joined the UFC fighting the welterweight division.
Yeah,
But now him being at 205, that will be a nice change of pace. Rob Whitaker actually recently, Rob Whitaker and RDR both moved to 205
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
So I guess Hamzat's back with those
Falling.
guys.
And
What
apparently
do you think is next for Hamzat?
apparently Roman Dolidze is moving up too. Like is it like everyone's moving, like everyone just
Oh,
sees,
really?
yeah, everyone sees 205 as like easy pickings, which makes sense. The only thing
Mm,
holding them back is size, and like size is a big factor. But like for example, we've seen Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Smith, and Anthony Smith obviously isn't like a crazy 205 or anything. But like even in that
yeah.
fight, like Roman Dolidze, he isn't a good middleweight for standards. Like all the top middleweights, he couldn't even give them a tough fight. He just got kind of like beat. So if we look at that, like skillfully wise, the skill is, like like 205 doesn't have a huge advantage. So Hamzat could definitely make tides in 205, but he's on his streak again to where he's kind of like he said that, but then he's tweeting like, "Yo, see you soon, Strickland," When do you want to run it
Yeah.
back? Like,
I,
he can't make up his
I don't
mind.
know. It's over.
It's
Yeah.
confusing. But one thing like for closing statements, I want to see Hamza have that fire again. I want to see him be that guy. I want to see him assess his training camp, and no disrespect to the people he trains right now, but every fighter is different. Some fighters need a certain environment, and Hamza has access to a lot of different options. He has people back in Chechnya, gold what do you call it? Gold Olympic wrestlers. He definitely can connect with coaches there. He has, we'll get to this later too. For Sahabi, he he put out like a statement saying that Hamza, come train with me. I'll make sure that you'll never have a situation like this ever again. So he definitely has options. I think he should definitely like pin down and get that main coach spot filled in with whoever he thinks is best. I want to see the fire lit in him again. I want to see him have that stride, that strive, that aura that he had moving up to the title. And yeah, I don't think we'll see Hamzat lose his next fight. To be honest, I think that what I just said, I think he'll strive a bit more, and I think that we'll see him back in the win column. But for Strickland, I think Imamov is definitely the next up for him. 100%. Imamov's been underrated for far too long, and yeah, Strickland's just a beast. And
For sure. Amaev
yeah,
definitely has been number one contender. I think everyone thought Amaev would fight Hamzat before Strickland, but the UFC had other plans.
definitely.
I think Sean Strickland didn't want to fight Amaev before because they're both contenders, and he really doesn't get anything from it. I think
Yeah,
now that he's champion, I'm sure for him he thinks it's an easy fight because he had beat him before. But I think there's a lot of questions to be answered for that fight.
yeah,
I feel like Amaev has improved a lot more since that fight, and then considering that it was a late notice fight, there is some uncertainty between both fighters. Sean Strickland didn't have a full camp. Amaev was definitely underweight against Strickland. So I think it'll be really good and really refreshing to see what happens between these two fighters if they both weigh in. They both have a training camp and they both weigh in at 185 on Friday morning.
I
But
agree.
yeah.
It's like,
Any- well, that's the end of last week's card. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys thought our commentary was quite insightful. And if you're looking at a screen and thought, hey man, that dashboard is quite amazing. I really want to use that. It has a lot of detailed information and will be quite useful as me being an MMA fan. Well, hey, that's a app we created called Zocratic MMA. You check it
yeah.
out at ZocraticMMA.com. And if you have Apple devices, we recently just launched an app on iOS called Zocratic MMA. So it's a very accessible. It's free to use, free to create an account. No worries. Engage with the community. We're always messaging back. And yeah, Shark, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in for our first episode. You can call us a podcast, recap, whatever. And make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe. We will be back for our predictions for Arnold Allen versus Costa, and you will get to see our picks. And like Ajay said, if you want to check out the website, you can make your picks, you can track it for all events, you can rate events, and do much, much more. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next time. Peace.